Welcome. Please stand if you're willing and join us in our opening song, Sing.
Good morning. That's what I meant to say, not hello. Is there anyone here for the first time willing to acknowledge themselves? No? Anyone back after being gone for a little while? Hey, I'm so glad you're back. Anyone back second or third time? That's all right. Maybe you're listening online, which is fabulous also. If you haven't already, please remember to silence your cell phones. And I think we're ready for 3 affirmations, right? Sorry, it's been a while since I've done this, so we're going to want to statement of being and then the 3 affirmations. Totally meant that. Here we go. Ready? There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. Ready? I am a beloved expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time right now. I don't know about y'all, but I say that last one every single time I'm running late somewhere. It just makes me feel a little better. Okay, so now we have Kelsey singing Rainbow.
When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe when all you know is the trouble of staying above the rising water lines. Well, the sky is finally open. The rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella. Well, darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors, yellow, red, and orange, and green, and at least a million others. Turn the dust off your coat and take everything is alright now. 'Cause the sky is finally open, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Let go of your umbrella, 'cause darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Yeah, there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. It'll all be alright.
Ooh, let's thank Kelsey once again. And Katie and John and Justin, of course. You know what I just realized as I was listening to that song? There is always a rainbow over our heads. I mean, our PowerPoint template has a rainbow on it. How many of you have ever noticed that before? Yeah, a few of you. I think that was intentional, right? There is always a rainbow hanging over our heads. And you know what? I want to have that thought in mind today because I know a lot of us have a very heavy heart today and this weekend. So my name is Reverend Ellen. In case I haven't introduced myself, I know it says it up there. And welcome everyone online. If you're watching today on Sunday or sometime later in the week, thank you for being here. Thank all of you for being here. I know it is Memorial Day weekend, and it is the official beginning of summer. How many of you feel that way? Official beginning of summer. Although it's been kind of summer-like for a few weeks already. And my hair has definitely expressed that. I know. But my curls come out when it's humid, so I'm very grateful for that. I feel like the Charlie Brown, who she always would stand out in left field, right? Of course, it took me 63 years to really fully appreciate my curly hair, so thank you. And my husband thanks everyone, too. He prefers it curly. So that's not what I even was going to talk about today. So the official beginning of summer, right, Memorial Day weekend, and you know, Memorial Day is really about honoring our fallen heroes, but it's also about all those sales. How many of you are planning on buying something this weekend? A few of you? Right, I'm finally going to buy, I think, a grill, because we haven't bought one since we moved here. But, you know, every holiday in the U.S. is about buying something. It just that's what it is. We're buying stuff. But it is really officially about honoring those that have fallen. Not necessarily about the barbecues and going to the beach, even though I know we're all going to be doing that, especially on this hot and humid weekend. I mean, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and every summer we lived at Jones Beach because that's what you do when it's hot and it's humid. You go to the beach. And I hope to get to Wrightsville Beach or Carolina Beach, Holden Beach, one of those local beaches this weekend myself. But what we're going to be talking about today really is what does it mean, right, to really honor those that have given their lives. And I chose Poppy Paradise because the poppies were the first flower that actually grew in the barren fields in World War I. And flowers represent hope, right? They represent a better future. And I love this quote that I found. Souls reconstructed with faith transform agony into peace. Oh, how many of you have a heavy heart right now? Yeah, with all of the shootings. And I would be remiss not to talk about that a little bit today. I just looked up in the, they did mention it, but I looked it up. There, in just this year alone, there have been 22 shootings, 22, and over 374 people have died. So when we honor fallen heroes, we're not just honoring those that have given their lives, you know, for our freedom, right? I want us to really honor those that have fallen through no fault of their own, right? Through no fault of their own. And what can we do as a community to change that? To change that. And so it does absolutely start with the individual, right? We have to have a belief that we can transform with faith and have the life that we want to live, right? To have peace, to have harmony. I do believe that we can have that. They have done it in other parts of the world, in Australia, as a matter of fact. So I know a lot of you also watch the CBS News show, and they had a segment on that this morning, and I thought, yes, we can hold that vision, that we can have that. Right? We do have a rainbow over our heads at all times if we choose to see the rainbow and not the rain. Although recognizing, right, the rain brings what? It brings new growth. It brings flowers. So today, I want us to really focus on those poppies, right? Those seeds of faith, those seeds of hope, the seeds for the future. So I'm going to talk for a spiritual talk today, but about Memorial Day. So Sergeant Major Bill Paxton, may we never forget our fallen comrades. Freedom isn't free. So I put the word comrades in brackets because we traditionally think of comrades as our brothers in arms, right? How many of you have either served in the military or you have family members that have served in the military, either in the past or the present? Right? Yeah, almost everyone's hand has gone up. So my dad served in the Korean War, and he came home. Right? Many of you probably have had family members that served in other wars who haven't come home. Or you may have somebody right now that is in the Navy or the Army or the Marines. Actually, my stepson is an ex-Marine. He's not serving right now, but he served in the Marines. So a comrade, right? Our brothers, our sisters, our families, our allies. These are our comrades. These are our comrades. And when you think about, freedom isn't free. Right? We don't literally have to give our lives for our freedom. Right? If we want to be free in our hearts and our minds, what do we have to pay for that? Because there is a cost. We can pay up. Right? We can pay up. Right? What do we need to exchange? What do we need to exchange to have love in our hearts? What do you think? What do we need to exchange for love? Well, we could exchange, I'll give you my love if you give me yours. We could pay up that way. We also could exchange, you know what? I'm going to bury my fear and my hate and my judgment. Right? I'm going to pay up, and then I'm going to get love in exchange. I'm going to exchange my jealousy for someone who has something that I want. And I'm going to pay up, and I'm going to be proud for them. I'm going to be happy for them. How many of you want to pay up something? Go ahead, pay up. Let's go. Woohoo! Let's pay up. That rainbow, right? The rainbow above our head, up. The song we started our service with this morning is up. Spirit is up. Spirit is up and around and in and within. We can never go anywhere without Spirit because Spirit is within us. So, fallen, right? Fallen heroes. What do we want to fall away? What do we need to fall away for us to always feel like there's a rainbow over our heads? We have to let judgment fall away. We have to let hate fall away. We have to let making everything and everyone different from us wrong fall away. Let that fall. Let that fall. But let it fall into that fertile soil that poppies can grow from. because flowers represent hope. They represent a future that is peaceful. That's what I want to have. How many of you want to have that? Yeah. So we can go to our schools, and we can go to our supermarkets. We could go anywhere we want without fear. That our comrades in arms are our brothers and our sisters and our allies. That it doesn't matter if we have different political beliefs or different religious beliefs. It doesn't matter. I'm going to exchange my judgment, and in return, I'm going to pay up and have acceptance. I'm going to have love in my heart and my mind. That's how we want to celebrate Memorial Day. While we barbecue, while we go to the beach, while we get to spend time with each other on a Sunday or whatever day you might be watching our service today. So freedom isn't free. It isn't free. You have to be willing to let go of something and pay up for what it is that you truly want. And hopefully we don't have to literally give our lives to have that freedom in our hearts, to have that freedom in our minds. And if I want to be free of, the doubts and the fears that I have in my life, if I want to be free of worrying that, it's going to rain later today when I plan to go to the beach, what do I have to pay up to have some freedom? I have to remember there's always going to be a rainbow over my head. That's what we need to get to, remembering that. So patriotism, again in brackets, is not short, frenzied outbursts of emotion, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime. So patriotism. Beautiful music. Right? So patriotism, yes, if you truly think of that word, and again, we're going to think about it from a spiritual perspective, you can't expect to live a life with a rainbow over your head if you only come to church on Sunday, and that's the only time that you practice those principles. If we want to have a life of peace and harmony in our hearts, we have to pay up every day and live those principles. So how do we have a life of principle? How do we live unity principles every day? Prayer, right? So we can pray. We can meditate. Clearly, Vicki knows how to live those principles. What else can we do? We could be in service, come to service, be of service. We can decide every morning, how do I want to be today? That's one of the things that I started doing many years ago. I'm not perfect with it yet, my husband will attest, but I decide in the morning before I get up, how do I want to be today? How do I want to be? I want to be happy. I want to be calm. I want to be productive. I want to be a good person. I want to set an example. And so how am I going to, do that? How am I going to do that? Well, I'm not going to get up and just rush off to all of the things that I have to do without being steeped in principle first. So I have been very, very, very intentional for the last month. I think it's been just a month. I fell off the wagon, I got back on, and I start my day with meditation every morning. Every morning. I do my daily calm, if any of you like the daily calm. I do my daily J, which is like the mindset about wisdom. And then I just get focused on how can I live this life? How can I make this something that I'm dedicated to for a lifetime? I just became a member. As you know, I stood up here last Sunday as a new member of Unity of Wilmington. And it's my first membership in a Unity church. And I came from a background of religious science that I'm a minister of religious science, science of mind, new thought, right? And those principles are all in alignment. Right? But just coming here occasionally on a Sunday, or in all honesty, just coming here to speak, is not being dedicated to unity principles, or new thought principles, or whatever principle that is important to you. It is, how am I going to live this principle every single day? How am I going to honor those fallen heroes? Whether that's somebody who gave their life in war, someone who has given their life in a shooting, someone who has given their life to cancer or an illness, or even someone who has given up on their dreams, who has given up on something that they've always wanted to do in their life. Just focusing on the rain instead of the rainbow. So each and every one of us has an opportunity to be of service. Not just come to service, be of service to each other, so that we can all have a rainbow over our heads all the time. I used to feel when I would go to church in North Hollywood that we'd come out of there and we were in this like beautiful, loving bubble. And we're like, is there any way we can just spend the rest of our lives in this bubble and just float through our lives in this beautiful, loving feeling that we would have when we would be in church? And the realization is, yeah, I could pop it and feel, oh, now I got to wait till Sunday to go back. Or it would actually pop on its own. I hopefully didn't pop it intentionally, but it would eventually like pop. And I'd have to wait till the next Sunday to feel that way again. And the truth is, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We can have that rainbow over our heads all the time when we pay up. Right? What do we need to do? Pay up. Pay up. Right? But not in, I have to give you my blood. Right? Pay up. Pay up. No. This is about raising our vibration. That's what we're talking about, paying up. When we hold loving thoughts, when we let go of judgment, when we are of service, when we say good morning and we smile at each other, we are paying up. We are exchanging negativity, letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore for the things that do. Right? And planting those seeds in that beautiful soil of faith. Right? And I know you guys don't know this, but my middle name is Faith. So if you've ever seen my email address, Reverend Ellen Faith, that is my name. Right? So I get to be reminded of that also every day. I was actually named after my grandmother, Fanny, and I'm glad my mother chose Faith and not Fanny. Right? But it's a good reminder. And I never imagined that I would be here, literally, or in, this teaching, literally. But the universe, spirit, God, call whatever you will, you have to trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be at the right time, at the right place, not necessarily in that order, right? But just trust. And so we need to trust as well that we are connected. A fallen brother, sister, comrade, ally in whatever country is us. That's why our hearts feel so heavy, is because we feel that deep connection. We feel that connection through the earth and into spirit, into the universe. I mean, we are literally all connected. It's interesting, we were watching a documentary, I don't remember the name of it, but it had to do with mushrooms. And it was fascinating to me about how interconnected the roots of mushrooms are, and literally all over the world, and how our brains have the same receptors that mushrooms have. I thought, ooh. Right? I haven't tried them yet, I do like to eat my mushrooms with my spinach salad. Some of you probably had it last Sunday when I brought it, or Saturday, whatever day it was. We had soup and salad. I guess it was last Sunday. But again, it was one of those like nature, people, we are connected. There is nothing on this planet that is not connected to something else. So if someone has fallen, if something has fallen, that is our pain. And what are we going to do to lift it up, pay it up, pay up? We have to pay up in love, in love. So Gandhi said, each night I go to bed, I go to sleep, and I die. And the next morning, when I wake, I am reborn. So, we don't literally have to die tonight to be reborn. We don't literally have to die for our principles to live them. So let's change the vernacular. I don't want to die for what I believe in. I want to live for what I believe in. How many of you want to live for what you believe in? Yes, pay up, pay up. Woohoo! All right. So when we pay up, here's what I want you to ask yourself tonight. When you go to sleep tonight, what do you need to let die once and for all? What do you need to let die once and for all for you to be reborn tomorrow and the next day and the next day? Well, I need to let die once and for all any distorted thinking or misguided beliefs that say that I am not worthy of anything that I want. I need to let go of any belief that says I can't have $1 million business if that's what I'm working for. Because if I have $1 million business, then I can serve more people. I want to let go of belief that says I'm not worthy to stand here on a Sunday. And let go of those fears that, oh my God, my talk's not going to be good enough this Sunday. Let go of any doubts and fears that you have tonight. Let go of the judgment. Let go of the judgment that there are evil people in the world. There's not evil people. There are people behaving in ways that we don't understand all the time. And I don't want to get into all of that, but I think when you look at what beliefs and judgments that you're holding within, right? What seeds are we planting with judgment, with fear, with hate? We're not going to have those poppies, right? We want a poppy paradise, right? Of the rainbow, our Garden of Eden. And that Garden of Eden is right here. And it's right now. It absolutely can be, if we're willing to let those other things die, so that every morning we can start fresh, we can start new, we can start in love and peace and harmony. And when we do honor, knowing that when we honor one, we honor all. Knowing that if one has fallen, we must all pick each other up. Knowing that we get a lifetime and beyond to live these principles. To recognize that there is only one thing, and that is God, universe, spirit, and that we are an expression of that. And knowing that God is good, I am good, you are good, we are all good. And we know that God is goodness on demand. And so each and every day, we live these principles. We open our hearts and minds to that love and peace and harmony. Always paying up. raising the vibration within ourselves and on the planet so that we can all live in peace. And so on this beautiful Sunday before Memorial Day, let's anchor that truth. Let's go forward. Let's go out into the world with gratitude, knowing that it is already done. This beautiful vision. This is the world that we live in. And so just visualize that, breathe that, know that. And so with gratitude and thanksgiving, I release my word, knowing that it is already done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. Thank you.
We're about to have the offertory, so let's do the mudra. Y'all remember it? I'm pretty sure it's started. Ready? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. Before Kelsey comes back up for the offertory song, I want to remind you guys how important it is that you give what you can. The opening song used to be Come On In, or maybe will be again one day, Come On In, and it's the doors unlocked, the lights are on, and really the only reason that continues to happen and we're able to have the Facebook stuff is because of your generous tithes and offerings. One really easy way to do it, y'all can go ahead and pass, you don't need to stay up here while I blather on. One easy way to do it is to go to smile.amazon.com. And when you do that, you search for Unity of Wilmington and select that as your charity. Then when you order from Amazon, make sure you put smile.amazon.com, and when you order, it'll say, thank you for your contribution, you've made a difference. And that's how you'll know you're doing it correctly. My boyfriend, bless his heart, set a dog rescue or something for smile.amazon.com and then continued to order at amazon.com. And I was like, babe, that's not how it works, but his intention was so good. So that is 5 cents for every $10 you spend, which doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. It really does. Quick story, real quick. I started saving my change when I was like in elementary school, just, you know, pocket change, whatever. My mom would send me to the store and I would come back and whatever coins I was allowed to keep. And by the time I was in 10th grade, I bought myself my baby grand piano, which I still have to this day. So may not sound like much, but I'm telling you it adds up. Okay, Kelsey, here she is.
Go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt. You could stress on the strive, but I'm gonna fly past the worry
Kelsey, that was great. Y'all want to give her another round of applause? All right, Aramaic Lord's Prayer. I love this one. Y'all ready? Here we go. Father, Mother, birther, and breath of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire then moves through ours as energy fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. Age to age, from you comes the glorious harmony of life. May these statements be fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen and amen. Doesn't that untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others? Doesn't that remind you of the message today, kind of? So mine totally is, I need to release bitterness. I'm still working on it. Speaking of needing to release stuff, perfect. I could put that in the prayer box, which we have right over here. Please pray. We also have some fabulous prayer partners. So there's a prayer box here, but if you're online, you can go to our website and unitywill.com and hit prayer, I think it is, and then fill out the prayer request form. You can just put it in for prayer. You can select to have someone email you or call you if you put in your phone number. And Teresa Rodriguez will be in the prayer room this after service today if anyone would like some one-on-one. Remember to sign up for our e-blast. That's where the bulk of our announcements are. It comes out on Fridays. A lot of people have been asking, hey, what about a bulletin? How come there's no bulletin? Well, bulletins went away with COVID, just wanting to have more contactless. You guys have probably heard the term contactless delivery or contactless whatever. So we're sticking to that, and it's also just a stewardship thing, like don't waste paper if you don't need to. My thing, anyway. That wasn't like a big board decision. I just, we do go through a lot of paper. So sign up for the e-blast. Did I already say that one? Yep. I did. Okay. Visit our Facebook page. There's a lot on there as well. We're really trying to line up all of our socials, like what you see on the website, you're going to see on Facebook, and hopefully on YouTube too. Those are pretty much our three. I did forget to mention during my story about the piano that we have Venmo, write a check, or basket here. And you can donate on our Facebook page too. Announcements, yeah, but I don't know what to say for that. Should I leave it? Oh, these are. So the board minute. What do y'all want me to say for the board minute? What am I supposed to say for the board minute? Okay, here we go. So we're going to try to implement this 1 minute board minute thing as an additional way of sharing information for you guys. We have gotten some feedback that last weekend Sacred Listening Circles was a success, and thank you to those who have reached out to let us know that it really meant something to you, because I think the board kind of needed that. Okay, I'm not speaking for the board, I'm speaking for myself. I needed that, like, yay, please keep working hard for us, because it made a difference. And then we had a follow-up huddle after Eliza was here via Zoom. And it was a really productive meeting, just as far as what came out of this weekend and what the next one will be. So in June, I think there's a weekend with just the board. She's not going to physically be in town, but it's going to be kind of a board leadership, board development type thing with us and the leadership team. Just as a reminder, the leadership team includes all of the board members, plus Vicki, who's the worship team liaison, plus Wendy, who really, really is the reason this is all still going. I mean, a big, big, big reason as far as, yes. She's, I don't know about, maybe you've noticed I'm sort of last minute Mary, and I'm always like, wow, Wendy, please. And she's like, I got it. So it's really nice to have that support. All right, I think that's it. We need Oh, the board minute's over. I'm supposed to keep that to 1 minute. I hope no one timed me. We need volunteers, particularly for hospitality and for buildings and grounds. If you want buildings and grounds, see Myron. If you want hospitality, see me. Currently, the third week of the month is open. And we're having second Sunday or soup, blank or soup, meaning you can always bring soup if you want. And the one for next month, which I think is June 10th, is going to be international or soup. So you can do sweet, savory, soup, succulent, I don't know. I'm going to make a Spanish tortilla. Hopefully someone will make gazpacho. What were you going to make? Weren't you? Something Cuban. Ellen's bringing something Cuban, which is guaranteed to be delicious. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for listening. Please head up here if you need prayer, and head into the fellowship hall if you would like to join us for hospitality. Oh, sorry, not done. Peace song. That's not on the announcement.